Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sasha Nikodievich. I'm a Business Development Manager with SolidCAD Solutions, a CAD company. Just before we get going, a couple of housekeeping items. We are expecting over 100 people on this webinar, so we have set everybody's speakers to mute, if you will. We won't be taking live Q&A as we proceed. I will provide my contact information towards the end, so if anybody does have any more detailed questions or requires any specific information for us to get back to you, I will provide again my contact information at the end. So just some other housekeeping items. As far as the agenda, we're going to spend a couple minutes just introducing our company and our newly announced partnership with 3DR. From there, we're going to talk a little bit about where the technology, drones, and UAVs are specifically being used in industry. We're going to then look at some workflows, and then we're going to jump into some live demonstrations towards the end of the webinar, really highlighting the process data, if you will, Recap 360, AutoCAD Map, and Civil 3D. So we're going to get going. As I mentioned, my name is Sasha Nikodievich. I am with SolidCAD. Quick introduction in our company. We began 28 years ago as an Autodesk partner. We have over 35 employees in Ontario, and we have the largest team of application specialists here. We are designated by Autodesk as a Platinum partner, which is their highest level of recognition in the industry, and we're also an Autodesk authorized training center. In August of 2015, SolidCAD merged with Cancel's Ontario Autodesk Business Unit. This really merged the two largest and strongest Canadian Autodesk teams together, providing our customers with a national partner. This also brought to us a larger picture in that we're able to look at solutions not just around software, but the complete field-to-finish workflow. Of course, this allows our customers to optimize their data collection and processing and complete workflow. As far as Cancel has 23 locations across Canada, over 400 employees, Canadian owned and operated, over 50 years in business, and the largest Autodesk partner in Canada, both through a number of acquisitions over the last decade as well as organic growth. As far as services we provide, it's a complete gamut. We have a proven implementation methodology. We offer technical support by phone, on-site, or remote desktop. We offer training in a number of different flavors, everything from a custom course where it can be at your location, utilizing your data, covering specific topics to optimize your workflow. As well, we run public training classes in 11 labs across the country, and of course we can offer online training as well. A complete host of consulting services. We're involved with application development, anything from simply customizing and configuring your software to developing brand new applications. Of course, BIM has been here for a number of years. We offer a whole host of BIM consulting services, helping you develop standards, whether it be CAD, GIS, Revit, or BIM standards. Data and document management services. Also a very popular service we offer is what we call Health Check, where we can review your models, look at your processes and workflows, software, make sure you're utilizing and leveraging the software to its fullest, ensuring the hardware is optimized for the software, and of course looking at staff utilization and optimization. And something that's been growing for us over the last few years is reality capture to model workflow. We have a lot of experience in this, everything from fixed wing drones to stationary LiDAR such as the Faro scanner, and now of course what we're really excited about is the 3DR drone that we'll be focusing on today. So really our tagline is improving field-to-finish productivity, hardware to software workflow, and really again helping you optimize that data to make sure that it's optimized throughout the life cycle of the phases of a particular project. Cancel is the largest supplier of land-based measurement technology in North America, and of course today we're really here to talk about and excited about our new partnership with 3DR across the country of Canada. So aside from hardware to collect data, Of course, we have Autodesk software and a number of other applications, and we are Canada's largest print supplier as well, of both hardware, media, and supplies. So we really are one source, one responsibility. So with that, let's concentrate on the primary reason we're here. We're here to really talk about our exciting new partnership with 3DR, and we're here to specifically introduce the SiteScan solution. And really the tagline is press one button to measure your world so you can better manage it. So a quick little introduction on who is 3DR. So 3DR was founded in 2009 in headquarters in Berkeley, California. 3DR is the largest North American drone firm, and there's approximately 750,000 UAVs or drone vehicles flying the 3DR code globally. You see at the bottom there a bit of a history on 3DR. It was roughly in 2012 where the Pixhawk autopilot software was provided as open source to the industry. So there are other vendors utilizing 3DR's software technology. 3DR does combine hardware, software, and support to really make sure that you're successful. In 2016, there was an Autodesk investment into 3DR, both financial and technical. So really, when we went to the marketplace to look at what type of UAV or drone made sense, the integration between the hardware that collects the data and the Autodesk software really made it to be the only viable solution and the best solution in the marketplace. So we're really excited about the 3DR and Autodesk partnership. So we're going to step back a little bit and just take a look at and explore some of the industries that are taking advantage of UAVs. So if we look at construction, benefits to UAVs or drones and the 3DR drone really helps with a couple of key areas: reducing operating costs, mitigating risk, and helping make better informed decisions. What we're able to do is overlay imagery inside our CAD or other applications so that we can really see what's going on. So mistakes can be spotted before they become costly to fix. SiteScan is deeply integrated with Autodesk, so the software that most of you are already using for engineering and design just makes the learning curve that much easier. Another benefit in the construction space, if your client is really more involved and curious on the progress or managing the project remotely, a picture is worth 1,000 phone calls. You'll understand by the end of this presentation that the flight time, the time to capture the data and process it, is so quick and short that you can almost daily provide visual updates on the project, or weekly, of course. Also managing subcontractors. Generally this is verified with visual inspections and sign-off. Well, superintendents, project managers love SiteScan because it works within their existing daily process. It's incredibly simple and easy to use, and it provides them with literal job oversight to help better manage subcontractors. Another industry, of course, is surveying and mapping. So and you'll see this in a couple of seconds, you really just have to outline an area on your iOS or iPad tablet and tell the system to fly. It will automatically take off, it'll fly and figure out its route, it'll calculate the pictures, and it'll land automatically. So the drone will automatically execute the flight, capture the images. From that, we get some derived data, which of course can be 2D orthorectified TIFF imagery, digital elevation models, and of course point clouds. From there we can then process the data further in Autodesk Recap 360 or Esri's Drone to Map software to help further create mosaics. Another area where we see UAVs and drones adding a lot of value is the utilities and telecom space, really from a safe and reliable inspections perspective. So you can plan your mission on the SiteScan tablet app and then execute them fully autonomously. Keep your field inspectors safe on the ground while inspecting high structures. So you can save costs by, again, the sheer speed of capturing the data and also performing more inspections. The imagery can be geotagged so that we can help assess the equipment and infrastructure conditions in those difficult to reach areas. We can then go back and refly those same missions with one of the application's features. Another area, of course, is agriculture. We've seen in the agriculture industry GPS-controlled farm equipment almost become the standard nowadays. Similar now with the UAVs, really providing better returns. So site scan solution helps farmers really make more informed decisions and precisely target action in the field, resulting in lower costs and better returns. The site scan solution helps generate maps to identify crop stresses, issues with equipment, and we can create DEMs, digital elevation models, of the field. And it's really as simple as selecting an area and letting the Solo take off and autonomously capture the images. Another kind of area is public safety, of course. Search and rescue type as one example. So the Solo drone part of site scan provides firefighters and search and rescue personnel the information necessary to save lives of both citizens and first responders, while introducing new capabilities and saving both taxpayers and the public organization funds for how inexpensive it is for the solution. And we will talk about pricing towards the end of the seminar. Also situational awareness. SiteScan quickly reaches remote areas and keeps the teams out of danger, provides decision makers with real-time awareness that's difficult to achieve with conventional methods. Perhaps the next and last area just to touch on is insurance. So SiteScan can save lives by keeping field specialists on the ground rather than on ladders and rooftops. Inspections are performed more accurately and rapidly, whether it's an underwriting assessment, loss prevention, or a claim inspection. This allows for faster settlement and lower costs. So this is just a handful of industries. We strongly believe that every surveying firm will have a UAV in their toolkit. You'll see the benefits as we progress. So this is from McKinsey & Company. We can provide more details on this, and again, I'll provide my contact details at the end of the seminar. But they did a study, and in the AEC industry, architecture, engineering, construction, it's really among the least digitized industries. I think most of you in this industry would agree that having accurate as-built data is lacking. Data capture has been discouraged in AEC because traditionally it's been very, very expensive to collect as-built data. In the report, it also stresses that UAVs are going to make data a commodity. And this data is going to be really managed in the cloud. The cloud provides us with unlimited processing power as well as unlimited storage power. So our customers are using this solution at really every stage of a construction project. Some of you may be aware of Autodesk Introworks. It's a three-dimensional visualization, preliminary planning, and conceptual technology, all based on three-dimensional data. Well, if you're early on at the bidding stage or presentation stage, you can leverage our drone to quickly go capture some three-dimensional point cloud data or create OBJ FBX files for us to insert into Introworks so we can actually truly visualize the existing 3D environment as we work on our design, preliminary or conceptual design around that target area. Another obvious use is, of course, earthworks, the ability to quickly calculate volumes of stockpiles, retention ponds, pits, landfills, and areas like that. You remove the safety, of course. You don't have to have survey crews climbing on the piles. Also, the amount of data you get, you can collect hundreds of thousands of points in a matter of minutes compared to traditional methods. So earthworks is a very obvious use of UAVs. Maintenance and inspection, of course, preliminary design, and then progress reports on a construction project. So digging into the volumes a little bit better as an example, use case one, better visibility into your business. So this example just really shows that we're able to, with a UAV, quickly capture that data, and I will talk about accuracies when I get into the Q&A section. We're able to quickly capture accurate data From there, we can take it into something like Autodesk Remake, calculate a volume, or into something like Civil 3D and calculate a volume. So we're able to basically generate volumes just as accurately, more safer, and much more quicker than we would have in the past using traditional methods. Another use case, build what you design. So of course, if you take a look at the image on the lower right, we can see that some trenches are being dug to lay in some pipe. And we can see at the bottom right there that where we have the proposed CAD design isn't matching with where they started excavating. So we're able to overlay imagery on top of our CAD design and quickly resolve or fix things before they get carried on too far. Another use case, really the ability to manage your operations and clearly communicate progress. So in terms of the bundle, what is it? What does it look like? Well, there's a couple of pieces to it, 3 pieces specifically. There's, of course, the drone. So the drone, the site scan is really a proven UAV platform in the industry, the leader in North America. Attached to the bundle is a 20 megapixel APS-C Sony camera. With the battery and the camera, the complete unit is lighter than 2 kilograms. So this falls under Transport Canada's Act in terms of specific and detailed requirements. So really excited about that. So bundled with the hardware, there's an application that runs on your iPad tablet, on your iOS, and it's called Site Scan Field. And what this is used for is when we go on site, we bring up an image. It's all part of the application. We draw a rectangle, or it can be any kind of polygon shape. We can set some settings in terms of how high we want to fly so that we know what type of imagery and resultant data we get. Once we do that, really it's that simple. We slide on the iPad and the drone will automatically take off. It'll follow the route it calculated based upon what we're looking at. It'll collect the imagery and it'll come back and land, and that's it. It's that simple. I wish in a webinar I could show you, it in operation, but there are some YouTube videos, so if you do contact me, I can send you some links so you can actually sort of see it live in action. Once the drone comes back, we then upload the imagery to the Site Scan Manager. So this is a cloud-based application that's part of the bundle. Inside the Site Scan Manager, we can see each individual image. We can remove some if we want. This is also where we can import ground control points to give our resultant data more accuracy. And this is also where we really tell the software to go ahead and merge all these photos into one orthorectified TIFF image, as well as to calculate and provide us all the resultant data, the output formats. And of course from here, this is where we have our integration with Autodesk technology. So as far as output formats, these are the formats we get. We get 2 types of TIFF files, a geo-rectified ortho TIFF file, as well as a DEM TIFF file, a digital elevation model, and I'll be working with some of this live data in a few minutes. The other data that we get, of course, are 3D point clouds. So we can automatically have generated for us an LAS file, which is a kind of an industry-neutral common format, or an RCS file, which is specific to Autodesk applications. We can also receive 3D meshes and models, so depending upon what you're trying to do, you can get an RCM for Remake, Autodesk Remake, FBX or OBJ, which are 2 industry formats for 3D modeling formats. And then, of course, we can also generate contours as an output file as well. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into a little bit of a demo. So the first one I'm going to start with is Autodesk Recap Pro. So I'm just going to bring in an image. So this image represents approximately 15 minutes of flight time with 110 photos. Obviously what we're looking at is a point cloud file. So if I do zoom into an area, you will see that it is hundreds of thousands of three-dimensional points, all with their proper RGB value. So, there's a lot of different uses why you might want to have data on a particular project. I probably don't need to explain to you why, but within recap, there's a number of different things we can do. For example, we may want to clean out some of the vegetation that we see in the model. So I can just simply zoom around. I could also bring this into InfraWorks and have some of the data classified. But again, based on time, I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to select that and say, okay, let's clear that. Did I do that? Select it again here. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip inside. So we're going to get rid of that tree. So again, I can use recap to do some filtering. I won't spend too much time on that. We may be interested in some of the equipment on our roof up here. So one of the things I can do, as an example, is I can zoom into an area. I'm going to highlight this roof. And what I'm going to do is we're going to turn it into a region. So I'm going to say this is a new region. This is my, let's call it my lower roof. We'll hit OK. So now that we've identified that as a region, within my regions, I can simply say, okay, I only want to look at the region that we just identified. So there we go. We're just looking at one. So this is kind of like creating almost layers of your data, if you will. So now that we zoom in here, I could further clear information, or perhaps we simply want to be able to take measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, what's the distance roughly from here to here? There we go. We can zoom into other areas. We can leave those on our model. We can zoom in here. And obviously, the tighter I zoom in, the more accurate my pick will be. So it does take a little bit of zooming in if you want to select the right geometry. So there we go. So we can simply use Recap 360 to pull off measurements. We can view our data with it. We can go back and turn on all of our data again, not just the roof deck that we did. So again, this has over 1 million points captured in, again, 15 minutes of flight time only. Other things that we can do in Recap, but again, based on time, I do need to move on, so I'm going to just close this down. And next we're going to move to Civil 3D. So I'm going to start off with actually AutoCAD Map. Some of you may only have AutoCAD Map, so I'm going to start with a couple of features that we can use in here. All right, so I'm going to open up my Mac. Oh, there's my map workspace. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to the ortho-rectified imagery. So I'm going to say connect to data. It looks like I've already got some things here. Let me just disconnect that and delete it. And delete and delete. Okay. So this is going to be my ortho. So we're going to go ahead and select our ortho photo. We're going to connect. Obviously, everything is coordinate system based. So my AutoCAD map will apply transformations. And this data set that we're looking at, again, this is about a 15-minute flight, 200 images, captured at a height of 60 meters. So fairly good resolution at 200 feet, 60 meters. We can fly as low as 100 feet, so we can get much, much better imagery. So again, 15 minutes of flight time, and then some cloud processing to stitch the imagery. That's it. Okay, so we've got our image. One of the other things I can also do is I can also connect using that same method to my DEM file that gets generated for me. So there's my mesh DEM file. So we're going to go ahead and open that, connect to it, and add it to our map. And then there's my digital elevation model. If I just change to a 3D view, and we can see the data. Now you will see some data for vehicles, and that may be where I go into Recap Pro and perform some of my cleanup operation. Okay, just go back to top view. In AutoCAD Map, there's a few other things we can do. We can go to Edit Style, and we can perform a theme on the data. We can control our own elevation ranges, or we can specify a pre-done color map. I'll just go with that one. We'll hit OK. Try again. All right, let's go to that one. Hit OK. And of course, doing a live demo, it didn't do it for me. Okay, that's okay, we'll keep going. If you are running AutoCAD Map, you do have the ability to create contours as well without going into Civil 3D. So we can say, let's do contours at, I don't know, quarter meter, make 2 meter every major contour, hit OK. And very quickly we can generate some contour data from the information. We can of course turn our DEM off, and of course where we had some equipment we can see what happened. So there, you would want to clean up some of the data just so we have only the ground model. But in a matter of minutes from that data that was captured, we can create this type of information. Okay, from here I'm just going to delete a couple of this information and move to Civil 3D. Just going to remove that layer as well. Perfect. So there's our ortho image. I'm just going to change my workspace back to a Civil 3D workspace. Okay, and under surfaces, I'm going to go ahead and create a new surface. This could be day 10 of the construction, and maybe we want to run volumes and compare them to the original ground or previous days schedules. I'm just going to call this day 10. Under definition, we're going to say, okay, I want to use that same DEM file that we just did in AutoCAD Map to build my model. So there we go. We're going to pick our DEM file. We're going to hit OK. And we have some duplicate points. That's okay. Civil 3D's ignored those. And you can see that we've already got contouring on our site from Civil 3D. Obviously from here I could run a volume and compare it. Any of you that use Civil 3D of course know how to do that. We could generate sections, or we could use this as the basis for some kind of a conceptual or preliminary design. So really quickly, that's just showing Civil 3D building a surface from that point cloud data. I'm going to go back to our couple of slides here. Okay, so just really looking at the workflow again. On site, we draw an area of interest, tell the drone to fly, it automatically takes off, captures, collects the data, and lands automatically. Depending on your site, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes is all it should take to collect necessary information. From there, we upload the imagery to the cloud, and the site scan manager will tie all the imagery together. We could add ground control points to again give further tightness to our horizontal and vertical accuracy. From there, we can also say automatically generate for us not only the ortho-rectified TIFF, but the DEM file, the point cloud files, and several other formats that we saw earlier. I was going to play a video. I'm not going to do that. We'll move past that. I will send anybody a link that is interested in seeing that video. From that resultant data, of course, we can bring it into all of our Autodesk applications or into other vendors as well for leveraging the point cloud or imagery. So really talk a little bit about the bundle. So there's a number of sort of three distinct components. There's the hardware, there's the licensing, and then there's the success services. You're basically looking at, then these are US prices, so just to make sure everybody does understand that, these are US prices, so depending on currency exchange, but you're basically looking at just over 12,000 US for a complete solution. So I want to get into some of the common questions that we do get. You know, what are the output formats? I did touch on those, but we do have an orthomosaic TIFF file and a digital elevation model, an RCM, OBJ, LAS, and FBX format. Another question we typically get, can I do several jobs and geotag the images later? Yes. Also a new feature that was recently added is the multi-battery flight option. So if my battery isn't going to last the required length of time, the UAV will automatically come back, land, let me swap out the battery, and then carry on its mission. The other thing I can also do in the applications, I can save the missions for future flights so I can collect and capture the same data. What's the output resolution? Well, we basically get 0.8 centimeter ground sampling distance at 100 feet. What's the minimum maximum area I can survey? So 80 acres, 32 hectares is the maximum. What are the best environmental conditions for a scan or survey to be successful? So obviously, bright, overcast, no shadows, wind, a calm windy day. Sorry about that. What's the level of accuracy outputs? Well, there are many different factors. The GPS accuracy, if we're adding any ground control points, and that accuracy, and the camera resolution. But generally speaking, without ground control, we get within 1 meter, typically 50 centimeter accuracy, horizontally and vertically. If we do add ground control, we're looking at about 2.4 centimeter accuracy. So not necessarily good for detailed design, but for preliminary, for volumes, for many of the other applications that we touched on, definitely sufficient enough to get the job done and then some. Can I get point cloud data from site scans output? Yes. So the two formats for point clouds are RCS and LAS. Some other common questions. Can I save the survey or scan mission and repeat them later? Yes. So I actually answered that one already. Can I change the survey's altitude? Yes. So by default, there are 3 altitudes, 100 feet from takeoff, 212, and 368. Obviously, depending on the height, obviously will dictate the accuracy and the quality of the resolution of the imagery. Can I use the pause or home button while executing a survey or a scan? So yes, you can. So in other words, if for whatever reason you're halfway through your mission, you can hit pause or home, and the drone will come back for us to continue on. I think we've touched on this one. Can we add ground control points? So yes, absolutely. We can either do it in the Site Scan Manager, or we can do it in something like Recap 360. Does the drone, does it know to avoid obstacles? So flight planning is really made easy. However, there is no collision avoidance sensors on the vehicle today. So a little bit of pre-planning is critical to successful safe mission. Can I use different lenses? So yes, so in that bundle that we talked about a couple of minutes ago, there are 2 lenses. One's a 20mm f2.8, which is for our survey mode, which is the automatic mode. The drone can also be completely manually controlled with both imagery and video recording. So another camera is included that has a 50mm zoom lens for us to be able to do inspections at a safe distance away. And the second one, does the Sony camera allow zoom? Yes, it does. It does include a zoom lens. So those are some of the common questions that we hear. If you do have others, again, you'll please let us know. I'll provide my contact details in a second. So really some key takeaways. Drones are easy to fly, and everyone will be able to fly one commercially, especially based on the weight of the solution we have. Reality capture with UAVs will be necessary to win project and improve efficiencies across sites in the very near future. UAVs and drones are not a fad. They will be a staple in everybody's toolkit. And SiteScan is really the only complete platform that includes hardware, software, and support to make sure that you're successful. So at SolidCAD, we're very excited by this announcement. We've already had 1 test flight that was very successful in terms of its safety, its data capture. This was done just before snow hit on our ground here in Toronto. We're very excited to launch this nationally. There may be more questions. There's been a number of other webinars that have been recorded with actual use case studies. So please feel free to reach out to me, Sasha Nikodievich, sasha.n@solidcad.ca, or 1-877-438-2231, extension 330. And with that, that concludes our webinar today. We're a few minutes early. Thank you for joining us, and please do reach out if you have any questions. Thank you again, and enjoy your day.